Okay, so I have more Yankees and Mets news for you. Most of it relates to the Yankees, which is a good thing, at least in my opinion, Co. But let's talk about Carlos Correa first. So as we know, he's pretty much failed the Mets physical, which is a second fail for him. But this creates different scenarios now. But one of the things that I'm hearing, it's all over MLBTradeRumors.com. You're hearing it from Ken Rosenthal, Heyman, all the other beat writers as well, that they're trying to figure out a way to work this thing out. His preference, he's mentioned, is to stay with the Mets and work it out. But the problem that's being presented is he's unwilling to budge from the 12-year, $315 million contract they agreed on, which creates some roadblocks, okay? So, I mean, he can more than likely get another deal elsewhere and with some opt-outs at a higher annual salary or something like that, but he wants that big outlay. So, and I totally get it, but again, failing the physical and getting red flag for a second time creates obstacles for him in his journey to do that. What we're hearing now is that, more teams have gotten back into the fold, and there are about 4 teams that are having active dialogue with Scott Boras about Carlos Correa, 2 of which are the Braves and none other than the Yankees. So, this tells me a couple things, and with the Braves, I'm not surprised, but the Yankees, I mean, I'm a hard pass on a 12-year, $315 million deal for this guy. And again, at this point, I don't really want a guy who's failed a physical twice and had a red flag in a couple different ways. But if he's shown that he's healthy, he's shown that he's healthy. But with that said, a short-term deal tells me a couple things as well. I'm not saying the Yankees are doing it, but apparently they're talking to Boras about Correa. So if that happens, creates a couple different scenarios too. Number one, it shows me that they know for a fact that they can actually trade Josh Donaldson. Okay, they know it. Okay, the Mets traded Brian McCann. Okay, not Brian McCann, James McCann. They got rid of Cano. They're eating money. These guys know for a fact that they can move Donaldson. Even if they have to eat most of the money, they know it's possible. Okay? And that's if they're talking to Correa, it sounds as if they may have already come to found a couple of interested parties if they're willing to eat money and even attach a prospect. So I think it's an all but admitting that they know it's possible and then it's necessary. It has to be done if they're going to bring a guy like Correa into the fold. So, again, I'm still skeptical about it, but that's the dialogue we're hearing right now, okay? And which is interesting. Again, the potential of the Yankees getting a guy like Correa, they're going to have to eat money, and it's going to shoot their payroll up over $300 million, no doubt about it. It's not going to be in the the Mets stratosphere, but it's still going to be pretty damn high, highest it's ever been. But give me your feedback on the Correa thing. Do you think it would be wise for them to do that with a short-term deal with some opt-outs? Okay. The other thing here that I wanted to bring out is something I proposed a while back. Okay. By the way, if you like this type of stuff and you're not subscribed to the channel, I hope that you enjoy this enough to do that. And if you do want to know when things come out live time, especially stuff like this, hit the notification bell. It's greatly appreciated, and I want to make sure you're in the loop on everything. But the other thing I mentioned a while back, people thought I was nuts actually, but it was a universal proposal as a team opt-out. Okay, meaning a team can opt out of a player's contract if he's got a huge deal and he's not performing, or if he can't stay healthy, or if he gets popped for juicing or whatever. People thought I was nuts, but it's happened once before, and it's happened recently, okay? And I didn't realize this. I just found this out myself. So I'm actually glad someone else thought of what I was thinking, because it doesn't seem like it's rocket science. It seems like it's pretty common sense, but the fact that there's a union there and guys like Scott Boras, they're going to make it impossible. But this actually happened to a Scott Boras client. J.D. Martinez, when he signed the 5-year, $110 million deal with the Red Sox, they worked a provision into his contract where if he was still having his foot issue, his foot or toe, whatever it was, that the Red Sox could opt out out of the last 2 or 3 seasons of his contract. So they gave a team opt-out to protect the team. Opt-outs are only there to protect the players. So this is, I thought it was historic, but it makes me feel like this is possible again, and I think it would have to be something that would be a wise thing and would be necessary for a Carlos Correa deal. A team would have to have an opt-out provision built into their contract, at least I would think so, to protect them so that if he can't stay healthy, they can opt out of this thing. So they're not sitting with a decade-long albatross of a deal for a guy who's not going to play for the last 5, 6, 7 years. That's pure insanity. Okay? And again, so I'm glad that was mentioned, and I would encourage any team, especially the Yankees, if they were going to do something like this, to give a team opt-out as well as a player opt-out. Okay? Again, short-term, high-salary deal is probably the most preferred situation, but and again, I still see him figuring out a way to work it out with the Mets to stay there, but he's got to be able to be a little bit more flexible, and I understand they want to capitalize on the money and everything, and this is Scott Boras, and this is what they do, right? But failing a physical twice is going to create some things here, and he's going to have to show some flexibility. Now, pivoting over to the left field situation, okay, there's a couple of more names that are popping up now, two of which are on the same team. Michael Conforto going to the Giants has made two guys expendable. Now, keep in mind, I'll say this, Brian Reynolds still to me is the number one get, but he's also going to come with the highest price tag, okay, obviously. So there's some other guys, but Max Kepler's not an ideal situation, but he's probably going to be a fallback if nothing works out. Reynolds or some of these other guys in Arizona, he's probably going to be a fallback, because particularly since he's younger than the two guys that I'm proposing now. So if the ultimate goal is to get younger and more dynamic, these two guys do not accomplish that goal. But there are some bright spots with these two guys. Okay, number one is Austin Slater. He's an outfielder he was with the Orioles and he was with the San Francisco Giants. And signing Michael Conforto has made him expendable, as is the other guy. But he's a righty, so he doesn't accomplish the lefty hitting goal, but he crushes lefty pitching. His OPS just versus left-handed hitters in 2020 was 1.127. It's higher than Aaron Judge's, okay? 2021, 894. 2022, 824. So he hits lefties extremely well. He's also become a pretty valuable piece in the outfield, okay? Dependable. And he's got 2 more years of team control. He's not free until 2025, so he comes on the relative cheap. He's a 264 average in 2022, 255 career. He's known for some stolen bases, too. He's got a little bit of speed. He had 12 in 2022, 43 in his career. 7 home runs, 34 RBIs last year. So, again, not known for his pop, but doesn't need to be known for his pop. And, again, he's got controllable years on the cheap. So, again, if they want somebody who's easy to get, this guy sounds like he's easy to get, and now he's expendable. Now he's available because Conforto's with the Giants. So, it's just somebody to think about. And the other guy is obviously Mike Yastrzemski, okay? Carl's young son, okay? And, again, he's a lefty, so he accomplishes the lefty-on-lefty thing, and he's not a free agent until 2026. So, but he's already making $6 million a year. It's a little bit more expensive than Austin is, but 17 home runs. He's about a 214, so not a very sexy average, but 17 home runs at a WAR of 1.8. His 73 career home runs. He's a career 242 hitter. So, and again, both of these guys have the ability to play center field. They have played center field and they have played corner positions. So, again, 2 more names added to the fold here. And, again, I don't know if they're considering them, but they're being mentioned now. So, I wanted to pin that to you just so you can look into them as well if you want to do that. But those are the basic stats. And, again, to me, the number one get is still Brian Reynolds. They're going to have to give up, Jason Dominguez and then some. And as far as we know, an offer has not been made yet. So, and again, that's why I'm waiting for an offer to be made. Like, I'm not listening. I don't agree with still listening to somebody else's hypothetical trade and then putting out a video and calling it, this is the offer they made because it didn't happen. That's not true. It's not accurate. Okay? So I'm not going to be misleading any of you. So if we get an offer that comes out, something that comes out, you'll get the accurate info. You'll get all the info and all the details that go along with it. So that's my vow to you. That's my word to you. So, as much as I like hype and speculation, I'm not going to be giving you false information. So that's not going to happen here. So, and I hope you're okay with that. But that's what we know right now. So give me some insight, your feedback. Load up those comments about the Yankees potentially and Correa and this whole situation. 2 more outfield options for the Yankees. I mean, is Brian Reynolds still your guy? They still want to bring in a lefty reliever, so I see something like that happening as well. So there's going to be moves to be made, and the Yankees are, I think some cracks are showing, that they're showing their willingness to do something that they didn't think they would do, or willingness to eat money, which is the main thing of a contract like this. Personally, it's the only way they're going to be able to feasibly bring in Carlos Correa. And again, who's not my top pick. I don't see the need. I don't want to interrupt Oswald Peraza's development. I don't want to include him in a trade for Brian Reynolds either. I don't want to include him in a trade for anybody at this point. So, unless it's Corbin Burns. But that's not going to happen. They don't need him now. They got Carlos Rodon going along with Garrett Cole. But if they bring in another starter, they bring in another starter. So, but that's what we got for you right now. That's the scoop. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Let's get into it. I'll talk to you later.